Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Greg Sloop, and it's time for Live at 5 on this April 21st, Monday, 2025. Hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. We are continuing our journey through the New Testament in 1 year. We are up to day 79, and we're looking at John chapter 10. John chapter 10. Two basic stories in this chapter. It is the story of Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead, and it's the story of the Pharisees reacting poorly to it and plotting even more so to kill Jesus. Let's take a look at these a few verses at a time and we'll break it down. First, verse 1. Now, a certain man was sick, Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was that Mary who anointed the Lord with fragrant oil and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore the sisters sent to him and saying, Lord, behold, he whom you love is sick. When Jesus heard that, he said, This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God may be glorified through it. Now, Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that he was sick, he stayed 2 more days in the place where he was. Then after this, he said to the disciples, Let us go to Judea again. So, in this first part of the chapter, we see basically the backstory or the little bit of backstory. Mary was the one who had wiped his feet with her hair. Martha was her sister. Lazarus was their brother. Lazarus was sick unto death, it seemed, and they wanted Jesus to come and to heal him. And Jesus replied, It's not unto death, but it's for the glory of God. Why was the blind man blind from birth blind? Was it his parents who sinned or him who sinned? Neither one. It was for the glory of God. Here, Jesus is saying basically the same thing again about the sickness of Lazarus. And he delayed. We don't have an explanation other than the fact that it was for the glory of God. He delayed going to Bethany and ministering to Lazarus. 2 extra days. Then they went to Judea. Well, then his disciples react to this. They said to him, Rabbi, lately the Jews sought to stone you, and you're going to go there again? Jesus answered, Are there not 12 hours in the day? If anyone walks in the day, he does not stumble because he sees the light of this world. But if one walks in the night, he stumbles because the light is not in him. These things he said, and after that he said to them, Our friend Lazarus sleeps, but I go that I may wake him up. So Jesus answered their question about the danger by saying, We've got to walk in the light and we've got to do God's will. Verse 12, his disciples said, Lord, if he sleeps, he will get well. However, Jesus spoke of his death, but they thought that he was speaking about taking rest in sleep. They didn't quite get the nuance. Then Jesus said to them plainly, Lazarus is dead, and I am glad for your sakes that I was not there, that you may believe. Nevertheless, let us go to him. Sounds a little heartless, especially coming from Jesus, the Savior, who has healed so many and blessed so many, but there's a purpose for it. All along, there's a purpose. Then Thomas, who is called the twin, said to his fellow disciples, Let us also go, that we may die with him. He thought it was a fool's errand. He thought it was something that was going to cost Jesus and them in the long run. So when Jesus came, he found that he had already been had already been in the tomb 4 days. Now Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles away. And many of the Jews had joined the women around Mary and Martha to comfort them concerning their brother. Now, Martha, as soon as she heard that Jesus was coming, went and met him, but Mary was sitting in the house. Now, Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now, I know that whatever you ask of God, God will give you. So she complained to Jesus, but she also expressed her faith in Jesus. Isn't that how we act sometimes? We complain because we don't like how things are going, but we still want to tell him that we believe in him. Jesus said to her, Your brother will rise again. And Martha said to him, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day. She's looking for clarification. She's kind of calling him on it. That's not what I mean. Verse 25, Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, Though he may die, he shall live. And whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this? And she said to him, Yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who is to come into the world. And when she had said these things, she went her way and secretly called Mary, her sister, saying, The teacher has come and is calling for you. As soon as she heard that, she arose quickly and came to him. Now Jesus had not yet come into the town, but was in the place where Martha met him. Then the Jews who were with her in the house and comforting her, when they saw that Mary rose up quickly and went out, they followed her, saying, She is going to the tomb to weep there. Then when Mary came where Jesus was and saw him, she fell down at his feet, saying to him, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Boy, the girls had their story straight. And they told the same thing to Jesus. Verse 33, therefore, when Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who came with her weeping, he groaned in the spirit and was troubled. And he said, Where have you laid him? They said to him, Lord, come and see. Jesus wept. Shortest verse in the Bible, one of the most meaningful. Jesus either showed his humanity of the loss of Lazarus, or showed his humanity for Mary and Martha's sorrow, or he showed his disdain that they did not believe. I'm not sure what it is. Either way, it was a true show of emotion from Jesus Christ. Then the Jews said, See how he loved him. And some of them said, Could not this man who opened the eyes of the blind also have kept this man from dying? Then Jesus, again groaning in himself. I think he's feeling the weight. He's feeling the unbelief. He doesn't. He's trying to understand why they haven't caught on yet. Groaning in himself, they came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone lay against it. Jesus said, Take away the stone. Well, Martha, the sister of him who is dead, said to him, Lord, by this time there is a stench, for he has been dead 4 days. Just a little tidbit of information about Jewish custom. For some reason, the Jews felt like the spirit of the dearly departed one sometimes would hang around for about 3 days, just in case there was a chance that they would come back to life. It would be explainable. But Jesus waited 4 days, I think purposely, to get past the traditional 3 day period, just to show them that this was not just some accidental resurrection. This was not just somebody's wrongful diagnosis, but this was God doing a miracle in the presence of humanity. Verse 40. Jesus said to her, Did I not say to you that if you would believe, you would see the glory of God? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead man was lying. And Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. And I know that you always hear me. But because of the people who are standing by, I said this, that they may believe that you sent me. Now, when he had said these things, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he who had died came out bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was wrapped with a cloth. Jesus said to them, Loose him and let him go. He spoke with authority. He called the dead out of the tomb. He had already begun to decay, but when he came out, he was well and whole. And Jesus did that as a sign that he was sent and for the glory of the Father. Let's move to the next passage. It's the opposition at the Feast of Dedication. Verse 45, then many of the Jews who had come to Mary and had seen the things Jesus did believed in him. Why wouldn't you? But some of them went away to the Pharisees and told them the things Jesus did. Then the chief priests and the Pharisees gathered a council and said, What shall we do? For this man works many signs. If we let him alone like this, everyone will believe in him, and the Romans will come and take away both our place and nation. And one of them, Caiaphas, being high priest that year, said to them, You know nothing at all, nor do you consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and not that the whole nation should perish. He was saying something that was absolutely true, but he didn't understand the scope of it. He said one man must die for the people. That's why Jesus came. But they didn't realize that he was coming to pay the price of sin. They just thought they needed to kill him to get rid of their opposition. Now, this he did not say on his own authority, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus would die for the nation, and not for that nation only, but also that he would gather together in one the children of God who were scattered abroad. He didn't know that was what he prophesied, but that was what he prophesied. Verse 53. Then from that day on, they plotted to put him to death. Therefore, Jesus no longer walked openly among the Jews, but went from there into the country near the wilderness to a city called Ephraim, and there remained with his disciples. And the Passover of the Jews was near. Remember, this will be the third Passover that he will observe 3 times during his earthly ministry of 3 years. Many went up from the country to Jerusalem before the Passover to purify themselves. Then they sought Jesus and spoke among themselves as they stood in the temple, "What do you think? That he will not come to the feast?" Now both the chief priests and the Pharisees had given a command that if anyone knew where he was, he should report it, that they might seize him. This passage gives us a great deal of pause. This passage shows us how extremely intimidated the Pharisees and the religious leaders were when they saw all the wonderful things that Jesus did. They almost couldn't handle it. They almost couldn't stand it to see Jesus being shown to be a miracle worker, a prophet, a man of God, and by his own mouth, the Son of God. It killed them. They couldn't handle it. They didn't like it. They didn't know what to do about it. All they could think of was, let's kill him so the opposition is over. And eventually they would, but it wasn't because they decided to. It was because Jesus laid his life down for his people. And what a beautiful thing that was. We just celebrated Easter weekend, Good Friday, Silent Saturday, and then, of course, Easter Sunday, Resurrection Day. And it was a great time. 10 people gave their heart to the Lord yesterday in service. What a great day at Kannapolis Church of God. We're so excited about what God is doing, and we're believing for God to do even more in the days to come. I thank you for tuning in with us today. I am recording this because it's kind of a day off and we got a whole lot planned. And I wanted to make sure you got alive at 5. I thank you for being with us. And I just pray that God will bless you. He's blessed me to allow me to give this to you, this short Bible study that we do every day from the New Testament, Monday through Friday. I'm looking forward to spending time with you this week talking about the Passion of Christ as we move into that story here in the next few chapters of the book of John. Just kind of helps us keep celebrating Easter for a few more days, and I'm so thankful for that. Please know that we're praying for you.